Good morning, everybody, and a happy Wednesday morning to you. We are sticking with the one video format again today, so this is going to be the only one. And we are getting off that whole Netflix Instagram thing for one day. And you know who we're talking about? We're talking about Chelsea Davy. I love her. And we're talking about the fact that mainstream media is now asking about the kids. That's right. The stuff that the YouTubers have been saying for how many years? Thank you, Yankee Wally. And so this is what we're going to discuss today, but you're not going to want to miss it because, of course, as usual, I brought you all my receipts, my pictures, my videos, all my proof. So let's jump in and cover what we have for today, shall we? Let's go. You know, I'm really happy to start with Chelsea Davy because we know that Harry in almost every photograph looks absolutely miserable, but Chelsea Davy looks like she couldn't be happier. Now, remember, she dated Harry for 7 years until 2011, and she finally had enough of him. Chelsea put up this gorgeous beach snap that obviously was taken earlier, and she said, quote, "I am excited for all that is to come in 2025. She married hotelier Sam Cutmore Scott. She has a baby boy named Leo. She has a daughter named Chloe. And guess what? The birth of her children was so private, they didn't even know about it till months later. Her friends didn't even know she had a baby in lockdown. What does that tell you? That it can be done if you want it done privately. FYI, her husband is Oxford graduate, not like Harry, who couldn't even get through the school. They have multiple homes. They go all around the world. And she just released a jewelry line. Now, let's just remember, it wasn't that long ago, we found out in court that Chelsea, essentially from the paperwork, Chelsea was Harry's love of his life. According to Harry, they didn't marry because of the press intrusion. It had nothing to do with the fact that he treated her badly, he cheated on her, had nothing to do with any of that. No, it was because of the press. That's what came out in the paperwork. What we do know is that since they've broken up, she has gone under the radar. She's gotten rid of a lot of friends that are mutual friends of hers and Harry's. You know, they were teenagers when they met, and she grew up the child of wealthy businessmen. She's an ex-model, and I think they would have been very happy together, just what I think. Everybody liked her. She got along well with Catherine. She was always there cheering him on with polo, wearing a mini skirt. She was known for having an infectious laugh. I mean, it just was, they were so happy together. It's just so sad. They went on holiday to South Africa with her family. She was invited to Prince Charles' 60th birthday. And it was Chelsea who was next to Harry at the Diana Memorial Concert in London in 2007. According to Harry, the press were in relentless pursuit of her. The BBC did a 2-part docuseries last year, The Princess and the Press, and one private investigator allegedly said that he tried to dig up dirt on Chelsea, that she became an object of obsession for investigators, and he claimed that phone hacking was used to obtain information about her. Apparently, all the articles are saying that the final straw for Harry and Chelsea came when William and Catherine got engaged, and Chelsea saw all the media frenzy around the royal wedding, that according to friends, she told Harry she could never make the sacrifices that she saw Catherine making, particularly when it came to molding her life around the attention, the press attention. And so while she did attend Harry and Meghan's wedding, and she says they will always, be good friends, she's no longer in the same circles. What we do know is the night before the wedding, Harry called her basically to say goodbye. And we do know also at the wedding, Chelsea was biting her lip and looked very upset and unhappy. I do think Harry missed out on the love of his life, but let's be fair. It was not the press's fault. It was Harry's fault. One quick thing I just want to make clear. While Harry complained that his relationship with Chelsea was always doomed because of the constant attention and everything, it was shown in court that the majority of stuff that Harry was whining about was not gotten by phone hacking. For instance, when they broke up, she changed her Facebook profile to single. He was like, oh, she did? Yeah, listen, he acted like a doofus. He lost her. He's going to have to live with that. All right, let's move on to our second story. All right, the second story really gets me because I've told you guys before that what happens is the YouTubers do all the work and the mainstream media picks up the story and runs with it. So here's this story. Harry and Meghan are once again in the middle of a media storm about the legitimacy of their children's births. This controversy, which us YouTubers have been covering for a long time, is centered on claims that Harry and Meghan used surrogates for Archie and Lily. I personally believe, yes, a surrogate was used for Archie, but not Lily, because Meghan put a lot of weight on with Lily and it took her years to get it off. So apparently now Thomas Markle and Samantha Markle are talking about it. Buckingham Palace is now under pressure to clarify the situation with some proof that Meghan actually gave birth to the children. They're saying the whole thing stinks to high heaven. And Samantha Markle recently spoke to Dan Wooten about her father's claims regarding Archie, because apparently Thomas Markle Sr. said that 9 months before Archie was born, Meghan picked up her frozen eggs. And she said, yeah, that makes sense. There would be a surrogate involved. But why the secrecy? Well, that's simple. Because if the baby is not born of the body, then they don't get into the line of succession, even if it's her egg and Harry's sperm. Unless she gives birth, the baby doesn't get into the line of succession. So there you go. Let's not forget that they announced Meghan was in labor 7 hours after Archie had already been born. And according to Harry, they were back at Frogmore Cottage within 2 hours of the birth. That's just not possible. So I'm going to show you guys what all of us YouTubers have been showing you guys for years about why we think Meghan didn't give birth to Archie. Remember, Archie was born in May. So this is her in March of 2019 at the Queen's Commonwealth Trust panel for International Women's Day. I'm sorry, pregnant bellies, your baby doesn't wobble side to side as you're walking. That's just abnormal. People are saying it's the outfit. I assure you that is not the outfit. That is like this water-filled balloon thing that she has on under her dress. Now in December, she would have been about 5 months pregnant. December 18th, Meghan visited a former entertainer's nursing home run by the Royal Variety charity. It cares for ill, elderly, and people in need of assistance. Well, first of all, her dress was way too tight. But what people noticed is when she sat down, her baby bump turned square, like a pillow that was stuffed underneath her dress. Once again, the baby is there. It doesn't crunch up and move around in your abdomen. It's in your uterus. That's where the baby is. It doesn't have room. And when she bends over here, the baby just flattens in this dress. Her bump looks square. So the next thing that happened was in January, she went to an engagement at a dog rescue. So people noticed that when she bent down, very pregnant, 6 months pregnant, she stood up and there was a popping noise. Everybody seemed to notice it, but it was like the unspoken thing. Well, then we get a little closer and slow it down. Do you guys see that? Her belly comes out to meet her hand. Let me show you one more time. Watch carefully. She stands up. Look at her belly. Boom! The stomach pops out to meet her hand. What did she think? The baby just rolled up and coiled out? Now notice the size of her belly here. This was January 16th of 2019, okay? So here she is 2 days before that on January 14th, copying Diana's purple and red outfit, I might add. This is when they were in Birkenhead, I believe it's called. And this was their first joint engagement of 2019. Now keep an eye on the size of her stomach. I don't know if you would call that the same as, 2 days later, but when she sits down, suddenly the baby bump disappears. Why do you guys think that is? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They want you to believe that her bump went from that to this just because she sat down. Something's wrong. There was a lot of talk as to why she always had her hand on her belly. People are saying maybe it was to keep the prosthetic bump from falling, because as you can see, the belly suddenly doesn't appear to be there, but if you look down, it looks like it fell. And then this picture came out. Look at the slit of the dress. Like there's the baby bump hanging down there. She's like rushing to get into the car. Again, and I've said this before to you guys, the YouTubers have been reporting on this for years, but for some reason, mainstream media is just now catching up to the stuff that we've been reporting on for forever. Now, you guys have to remember where the uterus is. When you're pregnant, the baby is low and grows out. But for some reason, Megan's baby is all the way up in her rib cage. Even during, this is 24 hours apart. Even during the Netflix show, the baby crawled up into her rib cage. On the same day, she would have different events. The bump would be big, or the bump would be small. Now, I think they tried to address this in Netflix. They put up this picture to show her, except there's no head on it. And they put up this picture of an ultrasound, which has no name and no identifying information on it. And this one picture really showed that somebody, it looks like, was wearing a prosthetic baby bump. All through her pregnancy, here the bump is facing upward. It's like she put something on backwards. And I want to thank Yankee Wally, because she was the first person to come out and say this was happening. Now, some other weird things happened, like here are the birth certificates for Catherine's children. You can see that the physicians signed off. Everything is legal. This means that we know that the children are of her body. It was witnessed and, that's all taken care of. But for some reason, Meghan Markle's announcement, not only was it worded differently, it's unsigned. And the paper looks like it's just like cheap copy paper compared to the other ones with the signatures. Then the next thing that happened was this notice was put up and then taken down, but not before somebody caught a screenshot. And then Harry and Meghan are playing games with the media. Like they put this picture out of Archie. Really? How do we know that that's Archie? They're always playing games. Here's a picture that shows Meghan cuddling him at Frogmore Cottage. Look a little closer. She's missing a finger. They only put out photoshopped fake stuff. How about the Christmas card where Archie suddenly had color-corrected hair? How about Meghan's holding the baby up like, the Lion King? And then you zoom in, look at her thumb. Horrible Photoshop. Look at the daughter's hand. She's missing fingers. It's like a claw. And then other people looked at it and realized that once again, Meghan was copycatting Diana, even in their Christmas card. I mean, that's cringe right there. They put out pictures of Archie, innocently standing in the chicken coop. But then you look at his right hand, it's backwards. They like to play these games. That's why people don't believe them. Now, also, they play games with everybody because these pictures came out of Meghan supposedly taking Archie to school, and they were like, oh my God, you showed pictures of my children. How dare you? We're going to do an investigation. You never heard another word about it, did you? The reason for that is since 2013, there's a law in place that restricts photographers' rights to photograph the children of celebrities and show their pictures, which is why in this picture you're looking above, that's the Daily Mail. They didn't have permission to show Lily's face. The only one who printed her face was the New York Post, because Harry and Meghan had given the New York Post permission to do so, or else legally they couldn't have. You guys see what I'm saying? They've made people not even interested in seeing their kids. Here's a good example. Here's Lily. She has brown hair. Here she is with fire engine red hair. And then here she is blonde. You get my point? I mean, these three pictures you're looking at were all taken the same day. Does that look like the same kid to you in all three pictures? The answer is no. And Meghan's even darker in the picture holding Lily than on the bottom left than on the top right. So here is color-corrected Meghan and Lily. Lily has red hair. Here she is without color correction. Their skin tone was almost identical, and Lily has brown hair again. And then here she's almost black compared to Lily. You see what I'm saying? Ooh, I want your comments on Chelsea. Do you think Harry missed it? Because I do. And I definitely want your comments on the children. So don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe and the thumbs up button to help me with my algorithm, then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, which is still paused, my Amazon wish list, and my physical address. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.